What's the number one mistake you see a new agent make when trying to become a top producer?
You have the freedom and the flexibility in this industry, but you can't take advantage of that. Just because you don't have to work doesn't mean you shouldn't be working.
Dude, you're on it. You're on it, man.
This being the best year financially of my life, I had more income in February of this year than I did in the previous 4 Februaries in 4 years. And that was, being introduced to this life insurance industry, with this great organization, plugging into the system, putting in the work, just following the leader, doing what I was told, buying the leads, making the dials.
What's the best thing about what you're doing, and what's the worst?
And Senior Life History, Mr. David Price.
All right, and we are live. Evan in Colorado, man. I'm telling you, man, when you wearing that that hoodie jacket thing, man, makes me a little jealous.
Why? Because it's cool, or because it's a nice hoodie?
See. Both. Because it's cool and it's a nice hoodie, but definitely the temperature. I went out I just ran, so I got my motorcycle license. I used a company that actually goes to the DMV for you. So you just go there, you give them everything, and they go there for you. So I just had to take a ride on my scooter to go get it. And it was only, I don't know, a mile or two away. And I was cooking. It was funny. I was leaving the place, and an agent called me, and I was trying to get back on the scooter and get back in the wind, and they're like, is this a good time? And I want to say, no, it's not. I got to get in the shade. There's no shade. It's hot. But yeah, ultimately, of course, yeah, I sucked it up. Looked for a little sliver of shadow from the pole. Right there's just the pole, and it's let me get in this little shadow. So awesome, cool. All right, so let me check here. Let me check the Zoom. All right, we're live. We got some people listening to our amazing conversation. Me? I'm buying back my time? I don't know, man.
By sending someone to the DMV for you?
Or?
No.
Yeah. So I've been using that. Yeah. So I've been, actually, when I first came here, I tried to do everything. So getting the electricity turned on for the apartment. I hired I can't think of the name of them right now, but yeah, they go and take care of stuff for you. So yeah, I hire anyone that could deal with anything, especially in Puerto Rico. Everything's a lot slower and harder to get things done. Plus the language, right? You got to remember too. I don't speak Spanish, so sometimes you get to the window and the lady don't speak English, and you're just all right, geez, all right, let's figure this out. You pull out the phone and start doing what you could do. But of course, my fault. So, all right, cool. We're live. We got a couple people on. All right, guys, if you're getting on here, special treat today, man. One of my favorite agents. Don't tell anyone because I don't like playing favorites. But Evan over here, retired floor master, to traveling entrepreneur, literally living the life I want to be living. I don't know why I don't do it. I guess I got stuck on an island. So you know what I'm going to do, Evan? I'm going to get a sailboat. That's what I'm going to do. I started following some sailboat pages on Instagram, started looking out the window when I see them sailing, kind of see how they're doing, see if I can learn from my window. But I'm gonna get a sailboat because I don't know how far I can get around with a trailer like you have, right? I mean, there's a few things I could see, obviously, but I feel like the sailboat I could do island hopping. So we're gonna work on island hopping. So if you're just getting on, let us know where you're calling in from. Let us know you're here. And I know we're running a little bit late, so let's wait for some people to get on. Evan, how's everything, man? How's Colorado?
Phenomenal. I mean, yesterday we got hit by not a tornado, but a vortex. And actually, I saw it coming behind me, and I saw this swirling in the trees, and I had to hold my tent down, and it almost ripped the awning off of our camper. It knocked 4 trees down at the campground here. But it literally went right through me. I held this little tent down, but it was 60-mile-per-hour winds, and then it hailed for about an hour. So it was pretty crazy. But other than that, it's been awesome.
That's insane, man. It's funny because I never used the word vortex, but we went to Sedona in Arizona. Have you ever been there before?
Not yet, but if it's a good story, I'll go there next.
Yeah, I would definitely go out there. I didn't know too much about it. I think Marion mentioned that it was a place she wanted to go to, and My mom lives in Arizona, so I'm like, you know what? Let's knock out two birds with one stone. So for Christmas, we got a hotel in Sedona, and it was crazy because like they had like hiking guides and maps, and on it was like vortex, and they had like these different vortexes, and like I think one was like in the middle of the town, like just on the streets where there's a vortex there, and they're super like super spiritual out there, right? Like there's crystals, and I mean it was everywhere. Palm readers like on every corner. I think Marin's like, look, there's a palm reader. I'm like, there's one on every corner. But yeah, it was definitely a cool trip. We went in the winter, so it was cold. It was cold in Arizona. It was nice. So it was good hiking weather, right? I mean, man, you're in Colorado. But yeah, we had a really good time. So it was definitely cool. But it was funny because it's like everywhere you went there was like a vortex. But it was like you're thinking, like you're saying a vortex, like there's like wind and things get messed up. They're saying like vortex, like I'm hearing like a dimension, like a portal, like a window to another dimension kind of vortex without the wind. So
Oh,
I didn't make it anywhere. I was excited. I thought it was gonna be like I get to go somewhere, like through transcend through time or something. But unfortunately, I couldn't find the in to get into the vortex. But I was trying for sure.
maybe
Um,
it did. Maybe it got to
Curious,
the
man.
next level.
Anyone's maybe that's it. Maybe that's where I'm at. Maybe I don't even know. Maybe it's such a subtle thing that I didn't even know. Maybe it was so close to that level that it was like it was just
Mhm.
a subtle thing for sure. So hey, if you ever been to a vortex, put vortex in the chat. Put where you're in. We got Liz in here. Said stay safe. Let me open this chat back up. All right. So here we go. Mute myself. Mute this. There we go. All right. So where's my comments here? All right, here we go. We got Jen from California. We got Liz here. Dana San Flippo, man. Blast from the past. We got some other people watching here. So if you just joined us now, guys, really excited. Evan's going to go over working remotely from Colorado. Where's this title? Living the dream while building a business, right? Living the dream by building a business.
Mhm.
Living the dream by building a business. Dana's in Miami. We know Dana's in Miami. I love Miami, and it's super cool because Evan's at a campground. If you could tell, Evan's at a campground, and he's living at the campground permanently or temporarily. Right? How long are you gonna be there? You don't even have an end date, do you?
Actually, we're leaving tomorrow, but we're going to 2 hours north, a little near Vail, Colorado. We're going to stay there for a month near Vail.
So when you say you stay for a month, what I'm curious is it about a month, or do you like say like, all right, we're coming this day, we're leaving this day?
Yeah, the monthly, like if you pay by the night, it's like $150. But if you pay for 30 days all at once, it's like $50. So like you get like a bulk discount like anything else, So like we'll pick somewhere, stay for at least a week, get that discount, or a month. If it's a cool place like freaking Colorado, Rocky Mountains, like we'll stay for a month at a time. Get that bulk discount, just like buying leads, and just enjoy the time.
That's awesome. So you there? You got like the fifth wheel that you're pulling, or it's got a motor in the camper?
No, it's a travel trailer, so it's not a fifth wheel, but it's something that I tow. But it's
Okay, but it's a trailer. You tow it.
yeah,
Okay. I don't know all the camping lingo, but I'm trying to hold myself in the conversation. Look like I halfway know what I'm talking about. And then it's you and the wife, the newborn, right? And
7 week
and
old.
and you
Yep,
have another one, right?
yep, a
7 week
2 year old
old,
boy
7 week old, 2 year old boy, 7 week old. You got the wife.
and two
How's the wife
dogs.
doing?
She's good.
And two dogs. Look at that.
Yeah.
And two dogs, man. Living it up. Is there what's the best thing about what you're doing, and what's the worst? What's the one thing like if I could change this thing, that would be cool. Obviously we don't focus on negative, but what is best and worst?
Um, the best man is not being tied down anywhere. I mean, being able to stay in multiple spots across the country and see the country is gigantic. It's like multiple different worlds. Like you don't realize like if you live in just a city, like what's outside the city, like the mountains, the plains. Like there's so many cool things about this country. There's so many different regions of the country to be able to see all those. We like national parks, state parks. We just like being in the wilderness, hiking, getting that exercise, seeing animals. Being from Pennsylvania, all we see is deer, squirrel. Out here, we can see, horned sheep, moose, elk. Hopefully not, but grizzly bears and mountain lions and stuff. So just like seeing like different creatures of the world, different environments of the world, and being able to like earn a good living on your own schedule, like doesn't matter where you are, you can still earn the same living, is like the true blessing of this business and of this life that I got somehow hooked up with.
Awesome. So that all sounds amazing. It's great. But what's the one give me one drawback?
I don't know if I have one, man.
I would think it had something to do with the shower. That's what I would think. I would feel like I maybe want better water in the shower. I don't know. How's the bathroom? Oh, you probably use the building, right?
No, we have a shower in the camper. I mean, we have everything that we need to
It
live.
works great.
As long as the water pressure's fine. I mean, there's a water heater. Like it's not a rain head, 3 shower head, full tile walk-in shower like you're used to.
I don't know how you live like that, man. I don't know how you live like that.
But it's a fully functioning shower. I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, no, I feel like no, because I think about that. Like I said, I was talking about. I've been looking at these sailing catamarans, like a 45-footer, and they got like 4 bedrooms in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, I could probably live on that thing. And then I think about like, I don't know, like, so it's just I asked the guy, I was like, how's the shower? Like, how is it? He's like, it's like a shower on a boat. That's what he answered to me. But that's awesome,
Mm-hmm.
awesome guys. All right, if you're just getting on here, let us know where you're calling in from. We got Evan in Colorado. Michelle says she's in PA. Have fun, Evan. All right, awesome. So Evan's absolutely amazing. Have you always been an entrepreneur, Evan? What was your first job?
The first job I was a lifeguard, then a landscaper, then I worked in a restaurant, then I got in construction, and but I had aspirations since I was a little boy. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, businessman. My mom always said, I remember driving in the back seats, telling her about my dreams. She always said, "You'll make a good, wealthy person," because I guess she thought I had a good heart and a good head on my shoulders. Like I wasn't. It's not the point of like buying Rolls Royces and like 18 different houses. Like it's not. That's not like my vision or my goals. But to have enough income and wealth to support my family and have the freedom and be able to give my kids the opportunity to start their own business, like that ultimately is my wife and I's goal, is to let our kids start their own business, have the funds for them to not have to worry about anything really, not to spoil them, but to make sure that they're set up to start their own business. We want to pass our entrepreneurship down.
I love that, man. I love that. And I got a follow-up question. So Michelle said you're glamp camping, and Kelsey says she's from Louisiana, the bottom of the boot. What part of Louisiana there, Kelsey? If you're just getting on here, let us know where you're from. Also, let us know if you ever visited a vortex or seen a vortex. It was earlier in the conversation. We just want to know about the vortex experience that our listeners are having. So I got some questions for you, Evan, man. I love talking to you, and I love the way your mind works. Let's say, well, first off, will this be the best financial year of your life?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Good. So I guess I got 2 questions then. This being the best financial year of your life, what are something, like if I knew you 3 years ago versus now, what is something that I would notice on the outside differently with the newfound money that you're making? Is there any change at all?
I'm healthier physically and
Healthier?
mentally. Yeah. Back when I was, you get stuck in that sometimes that paycheck to paycheck lifestyle where maybe you're familiar with it, like going to the bar all the time, like eating junk food out all the time. like making decent money, but just kind of blowing it all, like because I don't know, because you don't know any better, I guess. I mean, that's, my personal opinion of it. Like I was not taking care of my body or my mind. Um, that actually changed first, thanks to my wife, before the money came into it, which I think is a blessing, because I think if you continue that cycle, and acquire money, that cycle can only get more vicious. So I'm grateful to be healthy, grateful for my wife, pushing me to be healthy. And we do a lot of research into health and mind, body, spirit type of stuff. I think you're familiar with all that. So that's one major difference about me.
Okay. Second question, right? So obviously best financial year of your life. You're putting that into health. If you woke up tomorrow and you had $5 million in your checking account that you earned, what would change?
Probably buy a slightly bigger camper and a slightly bigger truck, and plan for more babies and continue traveling. I mean, other than that, probably not much.
Awesome, awesome. So Liz says no vortex. She's only dealt with earthquakes, and Lauren said let's go in Lauren style with a bunch of S's and a bunch of O's. So she's a huge fan. Uh, all right, so tell me about the camper. What would the camper? Yeah, I mean, $5 million is a lot of extra money to have in your account. Life's going good. Obviously, I'm guessing camping and traveling. The expenses aren't crazy. I mean, gas and moving around costs some money, and the kids and feeding the dogs and everything. I'm sure you feed the dogs organic. That's premium. That's top dog food. But what would what would the camper look like? What would the truck look like?
Yeah, I mean, right now I got a 1500 with a 30-foot camper with one slide out. I'd definitely buy like a 3500 truck with probably a 40-foot fifth wheel with multiple slide outs and maybe extra features and stuff. But that's pretty much it. A nicer truck and a nicer camper for
So
now.
you want to go all out, get the Provost, get
Uh
the big the big one you just drive.
oh, no. I like a truck. So
You like the truck? Awesome,
yeah.
awesome, awesome. All right, awesome. I like it. I like it. That was it was funny. I wanted like a dually for a long time. Like when I was younger, I was like, man, I want a dually, a 3500 dually, and then I drove a tow truck that ended up being a dually, and that was it was cool. They put like the lift in the back of the pickup, so it was like a F350.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty cool. But then you start learning more as you're like, man, this thing's too big. It's such a pain to park, such a pain to this. You know what I mean? If you're not really using it for what it's for, like pulling the camper, then it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Even like my Raptor here in Puerto Rico, like it's super cool because there's a lot of bumps and stuff on the road, so like it just goes over everything really smooth. But sometimes like I'm going places, like if I go to like Old San Juan, I don't even take it. I just take an Uber because I already know parking is gonna suck. So like I'll just pay the money and take an Uber. So awesome. We got John Perez is on here from Haines City, Florida. He made it. Welcome, John. Welcome. Let me just check on my phone. Sometimes I don't see him here. All right. So if you're just getting on here, let us know where you're from. Let us know if you ever seen a vortex, if you ever been hit by a vortex. We were talking about earlier. So Evan, tell them about the vortex for people that just got on here. Tell them your experience. I'll tell them mine.
Yeah, I saw the trees behind me started swirling, and we saw this thing coming. It looked like a tornado, but it wasn't like a movie tornado. But the trees were swirling in a circle, and loud thunder and stuff. So I held down the tent behind me, make sure that didn't blow away. Um, and it just came across. It shook the camper. It swirled through me, and then just behind me, like, it knocked down like 5 trees. So I'm thankful. Like I could have easily got hit by a tree. There's telephone wires right behind me. I could have got electrocuted. I mean, thankfully, I don't think anyone was hurt, but there was some damage.
Awesome. Good thing no one's hurt. So you're staying in a tent as well?
No, I just mean this thing, like in case it rains, because every afternoon
Got it.
there's like a thunderstorm. So
Got it. Amazon, she said, so scary vortex. Wind was crazy, but our son loved it. Laugh out loud. And we got Paul here from Muskogee, Oklahoma. And seen them a few times in Oklahoma. Actually, I got a great Oklahoma story for you, Evan. So first off, my vortex story was different because my vortex, I was looking for like spirit dimensions to another world, I think, when I was in Sedona. We're literally like getting maps. We're like, all right, there's a vortex here, and we're going to these places, and then we're like at this place, and we're like, all right, where's the vortex? And like, and then Mary would be like, look at the tree. The tree's sideways. That's got to be the vortex. So we figured the tree got sucked in by the vortex, but we didn't see any wind or anything like that. But I was in Oklahoma for basic training, and we were outside for a field exercise, and it was so cold. See, I was from New Jersey, or still from New Jersey, and I was like, oh, I'll just go to basic training in Oklahoma. I'll do that in the winter because Oklahoma's by Texas, and Texas is warm in the winter, so Oklahoma's going to be warm. So I'm thinking it's going to be warm in Oklahoma, and sure enough, it wasn't. It was so freaking cold, and it was apparently it was like the coldest winter Oklahoma had in like years. And we're in this field exercise, and there's probably 120 of us out there, maybe more, probably like 240 people, because I think it's like 60 people per company. There's 4 of those. So we're out there, and we had a big giant tent, and that's where we kept all our M16s in this big tent across the perimeter of the walls. And there's a stove in there to keep the tent warm. So 2 people had to guard the weapons, and we rotated like every 30 minutes or something like that. So it was my turn to go guard, and I was guarding, and like the stove wasn't getting hot, and I had a hot cocoa. So I put hot cocoa on the stove, and I was like, all right, I'm going to have some hot cocoa. I'm so cold. I'm so excited. Some hot cocoa, some heat, watching the weapons. And the stove was clogged, so it wasn't heating up the pot belly, right? It wasn't heating that up. So I'm like, all right. So I take the whole thing apart, and I start cleaning it, and I get everything working. And finally it's working, and the 2 people come to relieve me. I'm like, dude, I'm not going anywhere until I get my hot cocoa. And that's basic training. It's like you can't have 4 people in there. It's 2 people. So I was like, listen, you stay. I'm not leaving. If the drill sergeant comes and says anything, like just blame it on me. I'll tell him I was waiting for my hot cocoa. Like, I don't care. Like, guys, gonna make you do some push-ups. Like, I could deal with that. So I'm waiting for my hot cocoa, and then all of a sudden you heard like a loud thunder noise, and I'm like, holy crap, that's the loudest thunder I ever heard. That's literally what I said. And then you heard a bunch of screaming, and the other dude in the tent was like, oh wow, apparently it scared them too. And this guy comes running in the tent, and he's like, I was hit. I'm like, what the hell is you doing? And he's like running around in circles in this tent. And his name was Townsend, actually. And I walk out of the tent, and where I was supposed to be, where my shelter half was, they're all laying on the ground. Everyone's laying on the ground. I'm like, holy crap, what happened? And the first sergeant was like, they were hit. And so a lightning came down, and it hit, and everyone had like their Kevlar helmets on, because you had to have those on. And it like spiderwebbed and hit everyone and knocked everyone down. There's like 30 people just laying on the ground from this lightning. I was like, holy crap. So I got nervous. So I go right back in the tent. And then I'm like, oh, I'm next to metal, right? So I'm like running around circles in the tent because I'm like next to metal. I'm trying to get away from the metal. And I'm like, holy crap, what am I going to do? And then all of a sudden the hail started falling. Like all of a sudden out of nowhere, the sky turns like this wicked orange pink color. And like golf ball size hail balls start freaking dropping. I'm like, this is the craziest thing in the world. So they came with like a first off, everyone was okay. Just so you know, everyone ended up being okay, which is crazy. But like the Kevlar helmets had like metal rivets in it, and people had like cinch marks in their hair where the rivets were. Like it was insane. Like, wow. I mean, I kind of wish to see what it looked like outside when everyone got hit. But I'm also glad that I waited for my hot cocoa and I didn't get struck by lightning, because so I always, that hot cocoa might have saved my life. But then it was, so then that happened. So they took all these people that got hit, like 30, 40 people out of there. And then the rest of us are staying there. And then they woke us up in the middle of the night. It was like a freaking blizzard. It was like out of nowhere, like snow dropped so fast. So they had to get everyone out there in the middle of the night. And then they had just me. I don't know why me, out of everyone, out of 200 some people, had me go back with the drill sergeants. And I'm like digging through the snow, looking for like tent pins and like stuff like that, and like helping them get all the equipment. But that's what I think about when you start talking about hail. I'm like, yeah, man, that was crazy. So if you already got struck by lightning, put lightning in the chat. So let's see, Marion, the hot cocoa that saved your life. Exactly, hot cocoa. That's why I'm here today, guys, because I refused to leave that tent until I had my hot cocoa. All right, let's see who else we got here. All right, so Dana's in Miami, PA. Let's see, no Vortex. All right. Wow, that is crazy. All right, good. Awesome, guys. So good. We got a whole audience here now. So, Evan, man, Evan is living the dream and building a business at the same time, Evan. And I know I've been talking a lot, man, and asked you for a subject, but I want you to go over a little about what you're doing because I think it's super cool because people get their insurance license because they want freedom, and then they forget about like the next part. Like you can't just sell. Like you can have some freedom selling, but you're not just selling. You're actually building a business and you're helping a lot of people sell now. But two, you're doing this remotely. Like every time I see you on Zoom, you got your hunting gear on and you got some beautiful scenery in the background. So like to me, like you are totally taking advantage of this business in every which way, and you have been from like day one. Like day one, you're just like it clicked. You know what to do. You know how to produce. You know how to make money. You know how to show people how to make money. You know how to find people to show people how to make money. And you're living the dream, having kids, feeding dogs, got an amazing wife, like traveling the world in Colorado. The weather looks amazing from what I can see. So tell us all about it.
Yeah. It's so rare that you get, preached, being able to live the dream. Like I'm sure there's hundreds of industries, thousands of corporations where if you join us, you're your own boss. You can make all the money you want. I'm going to be able to do whatever you want. But like you said, even when you do find that industry, how many people are actually going to go through with it, right? How many people are actually going to believe in themselves, put in the work, get the results, and then follow through on actually living that dream, actually creating that legacy for your family, and being able to enjoy yourself at the same time, while doing all that. So, first starting out, you had to put in the work, right? Not that I'm not still putting in the work, but I did single-handedly. I was selling by myself, right? So I didn't have a team. Started out as a single producer. Did what I was told to do, which was plug into the system, have a good lead flow, and have high activity. And that's exactly what I did. Actually, ran a meeting the other day with our team where I talked about what it took, activity and lead flow wise, to have those numbers that I had. You asked about this being the best year financially of my life. In February, in my second month in this business, I had more income in February of this year than I did in the previous 4 Februarys in 4 years. So I more than quadrupled my income in a single month, over the last 4 years combined. And that was, being introduced to this life insurance industry, with this great organization, plugging into the system, putting in the work, just following the leader, doing what I was told, buying the leads, making the dials. And I think the combination of all my experience of lifeguard, restaurant, construction, landscape, like dealing with people and just having all those different life experiences, that transferred very well over the phone. And I was just able to talk to people. And I think it really is just as simple as that. Dialing the phone enough times to talk to enough people that are going to want to have a conversation with you, and then being able to make a friend on the other end of the line, and then you have something that they need. In this case, life insurance. So that was a gift, being put into that situation. I was definitely a huge skeptic of the whole thing at first. Salespeople, um, you know, IMOs, insurance, anything like that. I was a redneck. I was pretty against all that, but got into it, saw it with my own eyes, experienced it. Saw the culture, saw the results, saw the freedom. But at first it was 10 to 12 hours a day. First one on Zoom, last one off. Most dials, most leads, most production, and then did that for 4 months. Got an opportunity, as a very green agent to go into the Ultimate Agent competition, with Cody Askins. That's going to be on YouTube supposedly, very shortly. But being able to go alongside of 4 top competitors from around the country and, be in this guy's office where I've watched his training videos. He's one of the biggest insurance guys on YouTube. Being able to go there and compete with 4 other agents and have 5 amazing mentors, yourself included. That was like the craziest experience to me. Only being licensed for 4 or 5 months at that point, and being able to see myself, with top production numbers, and then now, transferring that knowledge and that experience onto other people and helping them, produce 50,000 in 3 months, or six figures in a year. Now that's my process, is transferring that, seeing how I can lead people, how I can coach people, and I think I am doing a decent job. I mean, my team seems to like me most of the time, and they seem to be, following my lead, and buying the leads, and working with me, 10 to 12 hours a day, and making the sales. So, it's all while doing that, being able to travel the country. This morning we went for a hike. On Sunday we go for a hike, but still working 50 to 70 hours a week, helping my team get through applications and through contracting and stuff. But it all just comes down to finding this industry and finding this organization. And it's been really a surreal experience and quite a blessing.
That's awesome, man. You said it's a ton, and your team definitely has to love you, because I mean you're doing a great job. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, I got my license in May, and I didn't really have my first agent actually produce until December. So it took me 6 months to find an agent that produced. Hired 2 agents that month. The other one worked. She produced a little bit too. But yeah, it took a lot. So it's like I look at what you're doing, and you're way ahead of where I was at in the same time period. So it's super cool to see that, because every time I hire someone or talk to someone or interview someone, they're like, I'm going to beat your record. I'm going to beat your record. I'm like, good. Like, I want you to, like, I'll tell you exactly how to do it. Like, if you follow the steps, I'll talk to you every day and then tell you how to get the next one. Like, dude, that to me, that's a win. Like, I'm not like, oh yeah, it's my record, like I'm holding this thing till I die. Like, it's like, no, like, let me show you, let me make it easier for you. And it should be, because we have way better systems and processes than what the heck I had to deal with. I had to deal with all kinds of craziness. So that's super cool. But there's something that you said, and I think it's funny, right? Because people are scared of the word, right? Was it WORK? People are so scared of that word, right? And you said what you're working how many hours? 50, 60 hours a week? Is that what you said?
50 to 70, yeah.
50 to 70, yeah. So 50 to 70. So I feel like somebody would be listening to this and be like, oh my God, 50 to 70 hours of work. And like, it's funny because I say that, right? And you came from laying floors, or were you laying floors? I know you're a business owner, but I'm guessing you still laid floors, right?
Yeah, it was me and one other guy, and I was laying the floors as much as he was. It was
Yeah. So laying floors, carrying tile, right? Carrying tile. I remember when I was a contractor, like, hey, we have to move this tile to that room. I was like, I'll do it. It was like be a workout for me. I was like, no, I'm doing it all by myself. It was a lot, but I remember doing that. But I wasn't laying the floor, so it was easy for me to say that. If I was laying the floor and volunteer to do that, then I'd definitely would be insane. But like, it's funny because we use this word work, but it's like you're not working in a coal mine, right? So like, I think people will be like, oh my God, like this guy's not living. He's working 70 hours a week, like work. So what is work? Let's define work. What does work look like to you? Because, I mean, to me, this is work, right? You're working right now. I'm working right now. Like, this is work. But again, this isn't laying floors. This isn't working in a coal mine. This isn't, on a roof in July in the summer, or you worked in landscaping. I worked in landscaping too. Like, being out in the freaking summer heat, like, cutting grass and getting beat up by the sun. So let's define what are you doing for 70 hours a day, 70 hours a week?
Several hours of webinars, 5 webinars a week. Several hours of everything that comes with a business owner, emails, scheduling, follow-up, lots of communication, both with potential team members and current team members. Starting to think about that book, Buy Back Your Time, and having a VA or something to kind of take some of that off my plate. But I can't. I want to be involved at this point with, every single step of everyone's journey. I want to help them get through that. because it's so fresh in my mind. I feel like I have an opportunity, since I had success from the beginning, to show other people how to have success from the beginning. So I want total control over helping them. Um, but the day-to-day is, a lot of meetings, webinars, and then probably 80% is just walking other people through applications, honestly, and listening to their calls, sending them little tips and tricks, circling stuff on their screen, helping them if they're fumbling through an application, or if a call goes south, kind of doing a review of that. We do between 5 and 7 hours of team training every week. So a lot of practice scenarios, building value, building rapport, being a master with working the quoter tool and underwriting, and which companies like, which trick, certain medications and stuff, like stuff that goes beyond black and white on like the quoter tool of the website, like knowing from experience, okay, this, and this line up. So we should not look at the first option, but we're going to look over here because just, gut experience, tells me that this is going to work out better. So just like refining everybody's sales process, and still doing some dialing here and there when I get a chance as well. So it's a lot of different things going on, but I don't hate any of it,
So it's funny as you're saying that. Like I'm thinking, like I don't hear like I don't hear that you're working 70 hours a week. Is that the vortex?
There was a huge crack of lightning over there, and that was the
Holy crap! Be safe, man. Be safe. You got the hot cocoa. Hot cocoa will protect you. So, what I hear, like you're not working 70 hours. You're helping people 70 hours, right? So it's like if you went, if I go help a lady cross the road, right? Is that work or is that help? So you know what I mean? Like it's crazy because we got to really wrap our like really reframe and stuff how we say things and how we think about things, because yeah, that's it, man. And now that you say that and I'm listening, I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's what I would do majority of my day is like help people. So I think that's how we do it, right? Because when you're helping someone, like to me, that it's like you're feeding your soul, right? You're doing positive things. Like there's no one that doesn't enjoy helping people, right? Who doesn't want to help people for a living? Who doesn't want to help someone 10 hours a day or have the ability to help people 10 hours a day? Usually if you're helping someone 10 hours a day, you're not getting paid for it. So like you actually get paid for helping people. So I think that's why we're able to put in those kind of hours and still like, it's because I know what does suck, being on a roof 70 hours a week, cutting grass 70 hours a week, laying floors 70 hours a week, swinging a hammer 70 hours a week. Now that sucks. That's a whole nother world. But yeah, helping. I like that. So that's what I think about. So I got Evan's on here, guys. Evan's his ability to see things the way he does is absolutely amazing. We got rain and lightning possibly coming, possibly vortexes. So if you got questions for Evan, man, throw the questions in the chat. Let's see if we can knock out a couple questions before we cut this loose, so Evan could take shelter. Are you in? What are you in right now? Is this your tent or is this like a shared thing?
No, it's mine. It's a little pop-up thing. It's
probably, okay. So this is your tent. This is Evan's home. We're in Evan's home. Okay, we're in Evan's second home. We're in his second home.
Hey, you're in my office.
My office. That's it. We're in Evan's office, man. I like it.
Hold on. Did you compare my team to old ladies trying to cross a busy street?
It was the first thing I could think helping, and I didn't know if it matched exactly, man. I was hoping you wouldn't call me out and take it the wrong way, but I was just thinking about the helping thing. I don't think you don't have a team of old ladies and you're not helping them cross the road. So no, that it wasn't supposed to be a comparison like that. Amber says 10x better than clocking in 9 to 5, build someone else's business. Absolutely. I couldn't, I was trying to be quick with it. I was trying to come up with a better analogy. That's the first one that popped in my head, but I failed. So sometimes I'm good with words. Sometimes I just F.
I think I think a lot of people outside of the 9 to 5 corporate world, I think a lot of people work 50 to 70 hours a week. Bartenders,
dude, everyone
workers.
Does.
Yeah. I mean, so that's
how else you going to make it?
Yeah. That's not like a crazy concept, but it's like we talked about. What are you doing for that work? Like, are you?
Yeah, we talk about being a lifeguard, right? Same thing. Like, hey, being a lifeguard, that's not not too bad, sitting there and getting your tan, especially when you're a teenager and that's your job.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same as digging trenches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, definitely not the same. So let's see if we got any questions in here. Or anyone got any questions for Evan? Let's see. What's the number one mistake you see a new agent make when trying to become a top producer? From the wifey.
Probably something that I always, preach in my webinars. You have the freedom and the flexibility in this industry, but you can't take advantage of that. Just because you don't have to work doesn't mean you shouldn't be working. Especially in the beginning when you're building your book of business and you're building that passive residual income. Um, yeah, I'm going to buy, 75 leads a week, or I'm going to, make all this money, have all these goals. But then, you show up to the meeting and then you're kind of absent most of the day, or you take a lot of days off. And everybody has other obligations and things they want to do and have to do. I get that. But, just probably just, signing up for something and then not showing up. Like the lack of commitment is probably like the main uh, fault of new agents, I would say, that is their lack of success.
Dude, and I feel like if somebody has commitment issues, right? So we hire the person. They have big goals, big dreams. They tell us what they're going to do. They tell us what they want. They tell us, why they're doing this and all these things. And then, like you said, they sit, everything good? You still safe?
Yep.
All right, good. And then they tell us all these things. And then, like you said, and it's like it's not like there's one thing. There's you telling someone to do someone and they're not doing it, but it's when they say they're going to do it. Like, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow at 9:00, 100%. Be there tomorrow at 9:00. My camera on, and they'll do that. So I feel like that same person who has those commitment issues, like, dude, they have all kinds of things going on wrong in their life in every aspect of their life, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, the amount of people that said, I can't come today, but I'll be there every other time. And then I literally never saw them. It's like, it's crazy. Like, why would you say you're going to be there every other time if you have no intention of ever showing up? Like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I want to be here to help you, but don't say you're going to show up every other time and just never show up. Like, that's just, it doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever.
Yeah, I think that you're a man that keeps their commitments, man. I feel like that's like probably the easiest way to change somebody's situation is if you could hit a switch and make them like they have no choice but to keep every commitment that they make. Like was that Jim Carrey movie, like Liar Liar, and he had like no choice or whatever to like tell the truth every single time. Like even when he wanted to lie, he like had to tell the truth. It's like if you did something and like no matter what they did, if they say they're gonna do it, like it gets done. Like that would change everyone's life, and like so like that it would 10x their life, like everything. Like people would be losing weight, people would be gaining muscle, people would have better relationships, people would go on better vacations, people probably live in nicer homes, their car would be clean, their house would be clean, and they would have more money in the bank if they just did the things they said they're going to do. Nothing else. No more new information, no course, no more money investment. Nothing else has to change. Just the simplest thing of doing what they say you do. So I think that is the tip of the day. If you came here today and you have problems with commitment, problems doing what you say you're going to do, and you could fix that right now, you just got your money back for your time. Like I would feel like that it was the that will change your situation. Yeah. So if you're going to do better with your commitments, put commitment in the chat. If you're going to work on being better with your commitments, put commitment in the chat. Let's see. Are there any other questions? All right. Checking on the chat here. Man, what's the temperature there right now? Is it 60?
65
50?
and windy.
65 and windy, man. I want some 65 in my life, man. Look how busy. You got an extra room in that motorhome? In the RV? I guess it's not motorhome. The motorless home?
We got 2 rooms, but we got 4 people and 2 dogs. So you can sleep in the not so good shower if you want.
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, Amber's gonna get better with the commitments. I feel like Amber's good with commitments already. I feel like she's good with it. You guys are like a power couple. You guys are a power couple. That's super awesome. Awesome. All right, man. Any last words of wisdom? Anything else you want to share before we wrap this up? We usually go about 30 minutes, man, but yours are so good. We're at 20 minutes past, man, because you're just a superstar, man. I love talking to you. I love picking your brain. I love hearing your answers. Trying to mess you up a little bit with the old lady crossing the street, man. And dude, you're on it. You're on it, man.
Yeah. I mean, number one tip, you got to get yourself an Amber if you don't have an Amber. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do even 1% of anything I've accomplished without my wife. So everything goes to her.
Awesome. Let's dig in. So what's your favorite part about Amber?
Her heart, her selflessness. She will do anything for me, anything for our kids, anything for our business. Sacrifices, hard days, long days. I mean, she's amazing.
Awesome, man. Well, dude, like I said, it's always a pleasure, man. I'm so freaking glad, we got to meet. I got to spend some time in person, and really looking forward to, getting to know you better and working with you. And, definitely, like I said, man, any questions, anything you need, man, definitely reach out to me. And, if you have any questions, you're not sure, I do that too, right? So like, typically, right, there's problems. There's always problems. There's something, and sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know the answer. I'm like, dude, how do I end? Or I think I do know, but there's a little bit of doubt. And I have my friends that I call that they're just further down the road. My one friend, he did like 60 million last year. Got another friend does like 200 million. Both different companies. So when I'm not sure, I just I'll call them up. Like, hey, when this happened, I don't even ask them if it happened, because I assume everyone goes through that. I assume everyone goes through the same obstacles to get to that path. So I'm like, hey, when this happened to you, what did you do and how did you handle it? And I get some experience from them, man. So let me be that guy for you if you need anything at all, man. And I can't wait, dude. I can't wait to see you doing $1 million a month, man. It's gonna be no time. It's gonna be soon, man. $1 million a month, dude. So think about that. $1 million a month. That's gonna be about $100,000 a month in your bank account. That's gonna have. I think that's enough to get your 350. You gonna get a Ford or Dodge? Does it matter? They're all the same to you, like me, or what would it be?
I'll probably get a Cummins.
Cummins, okay, all right, awesome. And then that's not far away. Then you have an extra room for me. Then you have I could fly in and you have an extra slide for me.
Yeah.
So awesome. All right, let me just double check, make sure no one threw some questions before we get going. That's it. Michelle, love this. Amber, you are amazing. All right. Go, Amber. Go, honey. All right. Awesome, man. Well, again, it's a pleasure, man. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you so much, guys. So super excited. Thanks for joining us and have an amazing, amazing day.